Alright guys, welcome back to my car. Today I'm filming a review for the qualifying episodes of American Ninja Warrior Season 12. The fourth episode just aired this Monday, and that completes the qualifying matches for this season, so I thought I'd review it. It's kind of like a mid-review, and then I'll hopefully review the last four episodes after the season ends next month. But I'm just gonna break it down, starting with the obstacles. So the obstacles in this were a lot more repeated because they filmed the whole thing in St. Louis. Because coronavirus, and that meant they filmed them like back to back on the same day. So they kept some um middle obstacles throughout different matches, but I think it worked pretty well for like what it was. I wasn't expecting like the best variety because of the circumstances, so I wasn't disappointed in that. And all the middle obstacles only got shown up to two times, so it wasn't like you got stuck with one for the whole block of qualifying episodes. So as usual, the first obstacle was consistent, and it was the shrinking steps, and I thought it was good. It's quick, which is probably good for filming it in like 3 days. It helps to have a quick first one, and I still like it. It's pretty easy, but it's not. It looks like you could easily like take a misstep though, so I'm not saying it's a bad first obstacle. I'd be careful on that, but it's pretty good. So second obstacle, we had 3 second obstacles. In episode 1, we had wait for it, which looked really scary to me because you have to jump up to a bar, then you gotta like make a lache to a bar that's attached to that on like a pulley. So when you swing off the first bar, the second bar drops, meaning that you have to adjust your grip in midair in order to like catch it properly. So it looks a lot scarier than just a regular lache. And I'd be worried about hitting my head or something, but then you gotta do that motion twice, and between the second and third bar is a transition, and then the third to fourth is another lache. Then you just went to the platform. I guess I'll go through all the second obstacles together. I think that makes the most sense for this, but I don't know. But so for the second and third episodes, we had the Lunatic Ledges. They're from Tacoma last year, so they were a rerun. But I wasn't a huge fan of them last year. They weren't anything special, so seeing them twice was like not great, but it wasn't horrible either. The weird thing is how in episode 2 it was pretty like standard in difficulty, but episode 3 it took out I think like 11 to 13 people, something like that. And it was really weird to see that discrepancy, and I don't know if it was something like different or if it was just the luck of just how it worked out, but it was really weird, especially seeing some of the names that fell in that one. So I don't know. But in a way, I think it added to episode 3 by giving it like a unique not storyline, but a unique situation. And so I liked it. I appreciated the contribution, I think, overall. And then for the most recent episode 4, we had Off the Hook, which is from Atlanta last year. So another rerun. And I thought it was good, though. Like, last year they only showed it take out a few people, but it took out 20-something, I think, from what I remember. So it's definitely not as easy as it's made to seem. And I believe it because it looks so technical. Like, it seems like it'd be hard to even stay on the first one when you swing. I'd be terrified to do it. I couldn't do it. But I just saw, like, I think we saw some more fails this time, which is good. I like to see a proportionate amount of failures to, like, how it actually was to be the most, like, accurate. I know they can't show them all, but it's good to have the right idea of the difficulty when possible, So I think they did a slightly better job with that, but it still probably took out more than they showed. So obstacle 3, we had. Okay, so for the first 2 episodes, they had the ring chaser, which was interesting. I talked about it in the exciting news video I posted, and it's basically you jump up these monkey bars, and you just do the monkey bars pretty simply compared to most things. but you're trying to get to the end of the bars as quickly as possible because there's a ring rolling down this track quickly. And if you can catch it, you can use it to make like a skyhook type lache from one hook to the next. And if you can't catch the big ring, there's a smaller ring with like a crossbar grip, which is also you can also use it, but it's a lot more precise. So I thought it was interesting because it gives like an element of strategy and whether you should go fast or whether you should just weigh it out and trust your precision with the smaller ring. So it was interesting to see, and I kind of liked how there were different ways to fail it. I mean, it was mostly the lache, but there was a couple on the bars and stuff, so that was good to see some variety, I think, and see the most efficient ways to get through the bars. It gave it like an element of speed, which was pretty good. So for episode, it's for episodes 3 and 4 had the same one too. It was the Beehive. So this is basically like an upgraded wing nuts. You have to make this sideways laches like pretty big, but they're in the shape of like a honeycomb, so it makes it more difficult to catch it, I bet. And also, the second one rotates 270 degrees, so when you grab it, it's like they're at the first and second things start at a perpendicular angle, and when you grab it, they become I think they become parallel. I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, you grab the second one and it rotates 270 degrees, and then it's like in line with the first and third, and then you can swing from second to third and then dismount. And this one looked good. I think it didn't take out as many people as expected. Partly because episode 3 had the second obstacle that killed half the people. But I think it was still a good idea to upgrade it, and it definitely got some people, especially the last lache, because I think people's grip was giving out probably. So yeah, it was still good. So then we had 2 balance obstacles. The first 2 episodes had the rib run, which is pretty good. It looks scary though. It's like alternating steps that you have to make. I think was there 4 or 5 of them? I think there's 5 of them. But you have to make these alternating steps, and the thing is they're on like it's swinging platforms that you're stepping on, so you have to be really quick or else you're gonna lose your balance and they're gonna move out from under you. So it's definitely a speed one. Like most of the balance obstacles these days are speed, I'd say. But yeah, it was definitely tough. I think tougher than the other balance obstacle they use because it's new and it's just a lot more dynamic and fast. So you have to be as careful as possible. Then for the last 2 qualifiers, we had the spinning bridge, which is not new at all. It's been around for it's been around since a while ago. But it's been around in the ANW regional since season 9, and it's been to Vegas before that even. So it's definitely a well-known obstacle, and it's pretty good. You know, it's getting older, but I think it does better than most obstacles with its age. And people still fail on it. It's still unpredictable. And I didn't realize in episode 3, but in the 4th one they said that if you touch the balls with your hands, you're out. So I thought that was an interesting rule. I don't know if that rule was only in play for episode 4 or not, but I could have missed it because I was doing other stuff during episode 3, but I don't know. But either way, that was weird, but I think it's a good obstacle overall, and I'm not complaining with the balance for sure. Then we have the first episode. We had the slingshot, which I saw in person last year in Ohio, Cincinnati, and it's basically like kind of like a flying bar, but it's the rungs are like made out of bungee, and it's going up and down. So it's pretty tough because you have to make not big moves, but you have to go up and you have to keep the bar in line, and there's not much margin for error, so you have to be pretty precise with it, which is a good idea, I think. And it got a lot of people again because they saw it last year, but it's a tough one to practice, and I haven't seen a replica at any gyms or anything, so I think it was overlooked, and it got a lot of people because of that. Now episodes 2 and 3 had a return from last year, the Ferris Wheel, and that's basically the two Ferris wheels just slope backwards so you don't hurt yourself falling down on the bottom, but you have to climb around them using kind of like wingnut grips, I guess, and you gotta climb over. You can climb over or under. The over one, you have to. If you go over it, you have to hold on during the drop. But if you go under it, you have to do more moves. So it's another obstacle where you have multiple choices, but it just depends on how you're feeling, I guess, as to what you do. Most people go over, but we saw some people go under, and it worked out this time, so that was interesting. Lots of people fail on the very last drop, which is tough, but I think that's good. It's a pretty good measure of your grip, I think, because you can see everyone who gets through it, even the good ones, are like not having an easy time. So I think that's perfect for an obstacle. And then we had new last week. We had the sideways as a fifth obstacle. I like it. I think it's a good concept. It seemed kind of temporary. It seemed kind of like thrown together and just. It wasn't bad, but it seemed out there because you have the 3 sideways of shades at first, which is good. As I said, it's like an underused concept, I think, so that's still good. Then after the third, it's like tipping boards. After the third board, you have to grab a handle and slide down, kind of like a zip line, but it looks like hard to move. It looks not very well made. So you gotta kind of jump it down, but it doesn't look hard compared to anything else in the course. It looks just like you basically jerk it down the track. Then you have 3 more tilting panels that you have to grab sideways. And then you have to dismount, but there's a weird thing at the end, like a spinning wall, which was interesting, but no one even had any trouble on it, so it seemed kind of random to have just there. I guess they did it so you can't dismount from the early from the thing, because you could just skip the last parts, but it's weird because I've never seen that before, so I guess we'll see if it comes back into play at any time. And then we have the warp wall and mega wall, obviously in all 4 episodes. And what did we see? We saw Nick Hansen and David Campbell get up the mega wall. But a lot of people failing it. I think the new only top 12 make it thing makes people more nervous to risk it on the warped wall. So we see more people just trying to get the short wall. And I think the run-up is smaller this year, so that might deter people, maybe. But it was good to see those people clear it, especially David, because he's an OG. And yeah, that was good. Of course, the warped wall, like the 14.5-foot one, doesn't cause many problems these days, but it's, they can't get rid of it. They have to have the warped wall. So the mega wall at least does a good job of keeping that section a bit more interesting. And yeah, so I like the obstacles overall. It's kind of interesting how I think they showed them maybe in production order, because they had the, like they had all the repeated obstacles in consecutive episodes. Like 1 and 2 had the, ring chaser and rib run, and so on. Which I don't care. It's just interesting to see. The power tower. So we only saw it 3 out of 4 times because the first episode had Drew Drechsel in it before they edited him out. Because the court thing. And the power tower is basically different from last year. You have to go down a fire pole at the start. But then you have to run across these angled steps. It's kind of like a hybrid of the sonic curve and the flowing steps, because it's like a curve, but using the flowing step platforms, I'd say. Bigger ones. But so I think that's interesting. It's more like it's easy, but it's one that you have to strategize how to go fast on. So I think that works. Then you have to climb up the pole, and you have to do the dropping shelves, and you have to the shave from. Is it, I can't count. Is it 4 or 5 or 3? I think it's 4. You have to lâcher from shelf to shelf. It's basically the flying shelf grab, but they drop. And what I think is interesting, in episode 2, you were able to reach from thing to thing, but apparently from episode 3 onward, you had to lâcher. So what I'm curious about, we'll never see it, but in episode 1, if they were allowed to lâcher or do hand over hand, if they were allowed to lâcher, then I guess, if they were forced to lâcher, then I guess episode 2 was filmed first. But I don't know. There's probably no way of finding out. But unless you got some ninjas. But anyway, I thought the obstacles were all good overall. You know, they didn't have as many of them to make this year. I'm sure they had lots of plans that they didn't put into the course, but they can save those for next time. Hopefully, we can do, they can do a more normal season next year. If we can get over all this stuff, please. But, yeah, it was pretty good for the circumstances. Well, that went a lot longer than expected, but don't worry, because I can't remember these people already. So I brought my laptop with me to go through the list, and hopefully that helps me think of them. So I'll go through the episodes again just so I can organize it better. So episode 1, we saw, who we see? We saw Flip compete. He did good. He fell in the slingshot, but he still qualified. Trying to look through all the other ones. We saw Jody Avila. He was the fastest and the power tower winner, even though you didn't see it. I think Jody was the second fastest behind Drew, but that's been erased from history, so we'll never know, because it was Jody versus Drew on the power tower. That's why you didn't see that, by the way, because Drew made it. Then we had Nate Hansen. Who is he? Trying to think. I don't know. Then we had Tyler Gillette, who I saw in Daytona back in the day. He did good. He got 3rd place. John Alexis Jr., the Giant, but they completely caught him, so we didn't see him. But he made it. He did good. I don't know these people that much. Grant Mccartney did well. He made it, which is good to see. He done the slingshot last year, so he had good experience on that, and he looked pretty good through the course. He was slow as usual, but he made it. And we had the Speedo guy compete, Mike Wright. He tried the mega wall, but he failed. But he still made it through the course, and he's moving on. Alyssa Beard made it to the top 12. They have a top 3 women list, but she made it into the top 12 regular, so that's good. And who else? Taylor Johnson. Yeah, she did good too. She made it into the 12th spot. So yeah, that was successful. This is so long ago. I can't remember anyone. Jonathan Horing was there. He did pretty good, but he failed the 5th obstacle. He still advanced. I'm looking right now at the top 12, so I guess all these people advanced. But unfortunately, another athlete we had, which I was excited to see, was Cameron Wembley, who was in the first season I saw, season 4, but he failed the weight for it, and he's out. But it was still good to see him. I think it was a good throwback from before the show was popular in 2012. So that was nice. I'm looking through the other people now. There's not that many that I can recall. And Sandy Zimmerman didn't make the top 12, but she advanced in the top 3 women, so that's good. She did well last year. She was the first mom up the wall, so I'm glad she can make it. Yeah. Who else is there? Jody Avila's wife competed. She failed the start of the second obstacle because she couldn't reach the bar, but because he won the power tower secretly, she made the cut. Because if you win the power tower, your teammates automatically move on, which is, I'm glad. That's good. They had her story of how she's been doing the coronavirus because she's a nurse. So yeah, I'm glad that worked out, because that would be tough to be a nurse, I bet. Now, But yeah, that's basically episode 1, I think. Maybe it's just my memory, but I don't think there was that many big people in this episode. Let's see episode 2. So, yeah, this one has more people, I think. Yeah. So the best run we saw was Jake Murray. Best, I mean the fastest. He did great. Whoa. Oh yeah, he had the 54-second time. That's the fastest run since I think Drew in season 6. So that's like crazy. We needed to replace him anyway, so that worked out. Ethan Swanson took second, so that was the power time matchup between them. That was good to see, I think. 2 people we know, but kind of surprising and both really fast, so that worked out. Then there was Jackson Twait, who I saw when I was there live the other year. They skipped him, but he made it. Daniel Gill made it. He didn't complete the mega wall though, which is surprising. But I definitely think the run up was shorter, so it is what it is. Who are these people? Oh, there was Jamie Ron, who looked good, but his finger didn't look good because what happened? He moved into a new house and he broke it somehow. I forget, but that looked painful. But luckily he was able to compete and complete the course, so it all worked out this time. Who else competed? Oh yeah, Jesse Lebrecq and Chris both competed and they both made it. 9th place and 11th place, so that's good. They both moved on. Oh, and the last advancing spot was Ryu Yori, who got skipped, but he made it, so that's good. Oh, and Donovan Matoyer, who's on the Sasuke website, he made it, so good job, Donovan. So as I said, Nick Hansen made up the mega wall. It was this episode, but unfortunately, because he's slower, he took 13th place and didn't make the leaderboard. But from what I read, he was allowed to continue on. Just they made the exception because he was one of the only ones up the mega wall. So yeah, so he's still moving on. But that was weird. They didn't mention that, but yeah, so that's interesting. Who else? Oh yeah. Who is it? Caitlyn Bergstrom made it, but she made it into to women's top 3. But her brother did not, because he was the only one to fail the monkey bar part of the ring chaser. So that was sad, but that was weird. I don't know what happened. He just lost his grip, I guess. He was going too fast, I think, and that got him. But yeah, that sucks. What else was there? I can't think of it. Hopefully this next one I can remember more, but it's been a while. Okay, so episode 3 was kind of weird with who moved on because some good people failed the Lunatic Ledges, like I said at the beginning. But who made it? Oh, David Campbell. He almost failed the ledges, but he was able to climb up and, he did a great move. He jumped off from the top and was able to make it to the platform. And then he was great, and he made up the mega wall. And he's moving on, 8th place. That's really good. And I really want him to do well because he's one of the people that's been doing it for all the seasons. One of 3 people now because Ryan Strauss didn't come back this year. So yeah, that's big, and I'm glad it worked out for him this time. Who else? Naji Richardson. He did well, but it was kind of weird because they showed him so early, which is unexpected, but I'm glad it worked out. Because usually when they show you early, it doesn't, it's not always a good sign, but luckily this time it went well. Oh, and Jessie Graf also did well. She made up the wall and she moved on, and that was good. I wonder how much she's been training though with all the acting stuff she's been doing. I think she's doing acting stuff right now, but I'm glad it worked out. Oh yeah, the fastest we had this time, the fastest was RJ Roman. Not as fast as Jake Murray, but still pretty good, 110. And surprising because he's not a huge name. He's good, but I didn't realize how fast he was. That was crazy. Especially with some of the obstacles, like the Ferris wheels, the Beehive. Those aren't quick, so that's good. Oh yeah, and second fastest was Sean Bryan, which is good to see. The church worker. Who else do we have make it the cut? Oh, Dan Polizzi, the firefighter. He cleared. Oh, Adam Rail failed the Ferris wheel, which was weird. Because he's so good, but I think he's missed a grip. He was trying to go fast, and it cost him. So that sucks, but he got 10th place, so he's moving on. Oh, also what sucks is Devin Harrelson's course got vandalized recently, apparently, so that's really bad. That's weird. I've never heard of that for a ninja gym. But at least he made the cut. He's in 11th place. He failed the Ferris wheel. And so is Lauren Ball, who's another OG competitor since season 1. And yeah, that's about it for the Terry Terrington. He made it through the course. I forgot what his name was, but he's super light, and he was able to just like hang from the Ferris wheel with one hand. It was like, most people fall off doing that, but he was able to have bad technique because he was light enough. But yeah, he could be good because stage 3 favors that, being lighter. So yeah, and it's good to see a new face make it through. Janique Levette made the women's top 3, and so did Rachel Goldstein. She failed the third obstacle, but she still made it into the top 3, so that's good. And Ben Mielek, the Tarzan guy, returned, which is funny because we haven't seen him in, I think 3 years. Yeah, so it's interesting. He took off the Tarzan outfit, but he still did well, so it's good to see him back. It's kind of a weird ending to the episode, though, because it ended with him, Ben Mielek, and then RJ Roman, which is like not names you'd expect them to finish with. I guess they wanted to end with RJ because he was so fast, but I'm surprised with that sequence. You would think they'd have Jesse or Naji, probably, but it's okay. It's mixing it up, so I'm not complaining with that. I'm trying to look for anyone who failed that I didn't mention. Oh yeah, Booty Cothran failed the second obstacle, which sucks because he's one of the older people that does well, and they showed him first, which isn't a good sign, but they showed him first in Miami. He made it through the course, so I thought maybe he had it in him, but unfortunately he failed the Lunatic Ledges, along with a lot of other people. Including Michelle Warnke, who failed there. She just missed a dismount by. She was close, but she just missed a dismount, and that sucks because she's planning on retiring, so it wasn't a good way to go out, but I wish her luck. She got married, so that's good. Just the result wasn't good, but it is what it is. Alright, on to episode 4. So the fastest was Michael Torres, who was pretty fast time, 1:08, and then Joe Morawski, 1:13, also pretty fast. So they got to compete in the power tower at the end. Wait, I forgot to talk about the last power tower in episode 3. What happened was I was watching it, and then it froze up at the last second, like when it was really close, so I had no idea who won. It was like once they both landed on the platform to hit the buzzer, and it was really bad timing. But I watched it on YouTube afterward, and I was surprised that RJ won, but he did, so I'm glad. He deserved it because he was fast throughout the episode, and his teammates got lucky. Who were his teammates? Tarzan. It's whoever else the other one is. I don't know, but they got lucky. Matisse, the kid, made it. And I'm back to episode 4. He made it through the course, but they skipped him, which was surprising because they never skip him. So that's interesting. He failed the mega wall. He tried it but failed it, and then went to regular. Who else? Wow, a lot of the top 12 weren't shown. That's weird. I didn't really notice when I was watching. Yeah, Lance Picas made it, and so did Kevin Bull. They both made it through, but they got skipped. They showed them like in a quick while you were away segment, and they both tried the mega wall, failed it, and then went to the regular wall. So, at least they made it through the course. And we have Brian Crutch. He's the other 12-year competitor, all 12 seasons. He's a gym owner, and he made it through, which was good to see because he hasn't always done very well, so that's good. And then who else? Trying to look through the list. Oh, Alex Carson. He's the one that plays the tuba, right? I hope I got that right. But I think he's the one that played the tuba because I remember seeing that, and he made it through the course, and he got 11th place, so that's good. And then we had Verdale Benson, who, what happened? He made it through in 12th place. Okay, that's good. So that's the top 12, basically. And a few others I didn't know, but yeah, that's the top 12 for the last episode. Oh, and for the top 3 women, we had Maddie Howard, who's another nurse. They talked about what she's been doing with the virus and how she's been working with that. And we had Tiana Weberly make it, which is good because she's at the gym I go to. And Megan Mara made it, which is good because she's one of the better competitors. Oh, and Joe Morosky won the Power Tower, so he brought his teammates through. I honestly don't remember. Oh, wait. He brought through the kid who got his dad to compete in season 4. Yeah, the kid that he was way too young back then, so he got his dad to sign up, and now he's competing. So that was a good story, and he failed the Beehive thing, unfortunately, but Joe saved him, so he gets to keep going, so that's good. And let me see, I hope I'm not missing anyone. I probably am, but I'm trying to think. No one that I can think of. So yeah, I mean, we've seen some good runs this year. We've seen some surprising fails, which is, and here, there's only a top 12 this year instead of a top 30 for qualifying. And it's only 4 regions, so it's a lot tighter. And now if you make up the wall, even if you make it up the wall, you're not guaranteed, because only the top 12 people can move on, even if more than 12 make it, which I actually like, because I like having the speed element come into play more often, as it did in which episode? Episode 2 it came into play, the speed. But yeah, so I think that's good. It's probably just done for keeping, not having too many people competing, and for time reasons for them filming it, but I actually think that's one thing from coronavirus that I would want to keep after we're done with it, which is rare, so that they achieved that. And they had that rule up until season 5, so, it worked in the past. I think it can work again. Speaking of how they have fewer competitors this year, it's kind of interesting because it's forced them to not be so selective and to show more people. I mean, to show them a greater proportion of the people, greater percentage. So they have to make use of what they have, basically, with only like 30-something running per week. So that's good. I think it means less people are cut. Ideally you'd want to have 100 people compete, but in a way it worked out this time, I think. So it's interesting to see what they can do with that. I was worried it was gonna feel weird without the audience. I'm thinking about the general stuff now, but it worked out better than I thought. They have the family on like a Zoom call or whatever. So yeah, they did the best they could. It sucks, so I wanted to go to see the episode, but maybe next year. I doubt it. I mean, they weren't going to film in Florida this year, so I couldn't have gone, so it is what it is anyway. But hopefully one day, because they do like to come here. So yeah, anyway, it wasn't too bad without the audience, but I hope it can come back soon. And I prefer them to film it outside, but I think it make more sense right now inside. Yeah. I like to see them film outside in the day again. Like back before, back in season 4 and before that, they filmed in the daytime outside. Like, I don't care if it's at night. I think it's kind of interesting to see it during the day now because we've seen so much night that I wouldn't complain if we saw the course in the daylight in the future. I know right now it's all in this arena thing, but, I think it's good. They mentioned coronavirus, like, not very much, which is good because I don't want to think about it. They talk about safety and stuff on the course, which they probably want to do so people know it's safe, but it's not too much about COVID that is exhausting. What else can I say this episode? I mean, it's been good, I didn't have the highest expectations, but I think it's worked out pretty well. The format is actually pretty good so far, although I don't think the finale is going to be very good, just racing on the power tower, but, I guess they can't build a 4-stage course inside, so, it is what it is. But, yeah, I think it's worked out for the most part, and I'm excited for the finals. I'm glad that they're going to keep having new obstacles, which helps a lot, I think. And they could have some new to this season obstacles from last year and stuff. They could have stuff like... what could they have? They could have the spring forward. That was good. There's others. The diving boards were really good for balance. Yeah, they got stuff like that back for finals. I mean, I doubt they will, but they hopefully they'll make use of some of those obstacles too, since they don't have to build as much. They can do that. But yeah, I mean, it's been good overall. It's as long as they don't bring back the Angry Birds, that's the main thing. But it's been good. And I mean, the power tower thing at the end is kind of dumb because, I mean, it's nice that you can save your teammates, but it doesn't offer like the person competing that much of a reward, so it's like kind of pointless. And sometimes the person competing has, they have no one to save, so it's basically just like if they win, there's no reward, and they're spoiling it for the other players. So it's weird when you think about it, but I guess it works for the format. And it's good to see the power tower, I think, even though it takes too much of the show. But yeah, anyway, I think it's been a good season so far, and I look forward to the last part. I look forward to the next review. Not really, but I'll try to do it. And sorry about my voice being so dry. I've just been talking for too long in here, and it's hot, and it's outside. Well, not outside. It's in my car. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.